Howdy, folks. Greyhawk 4x4 coming at you again, your resident vintage gamer. And it is Beer 30. And behold, yes, that is the way I like to pour my beer. If you are one of about 3 dickheads out there that like to continually comment on my videos where we have a Beer 30 and I show my beer like this and you guys continually comment that learn how to pour your fucking beer, dude, and that stupid shit, I am 53 fucking years old. I have been drinking beer probably since way before you were fucking born, and I know exactly how I like to pour it, and this is it. So kiss my ever-loving white hairy fat fucking ass, and cheers. To the rest of you, yes, cheers. That's not bad. So today's selection is by the Squatters Brew Pub, which is a local brewery here. I have not tried this one before. This is brand new. And this is their German-style Pilsner. And they even spell it correctly the German way, how you spell beer. And for whatever reason, they have Brilliant up there. I don't know if it's Brilliant Pilsner or Brilliant Beer or whatever they're meaning to go for there. But regardless, it's actually pretty good. It does remind me of a Pilsner that I would have gotten in Aschaffenburg where I was stationed. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's not bad at all. I would say that they nailed the authentic German style. I think they nailed it pretty good because that does have, there is a particular flavor that comes through on a real German Pilsner that I can't really put my finger on, at all, anywhere else. Budweiser or any of that other, mass-generated shit that gets put out here, if they call themselves a Pilsner. It doesn't have whatever's in a German style, whether it's the hops, that specific type of hops, or the brand of barley, or whatever it is, or the way they ferment it. There's something that comes through, and these guys nailed it. Yeah. So, anyway, I wanted to talk to you. I haven't talked to you guys in a while, and as you know, with 2020, it has been tumultuous, to say the least, for all of us. And doing videos just hasn't been a priority for me. Number one, the fluidity of how shit changes every single day this year with the pandemic and the civil unrest and the insanity of our elections that's going on. And then, of course, there's been a myriad of natural disasters to throw in there, too. The wildfires in California and Washington and Oregon and here in Utah and Idaho, Colorado, etc. The hurricanes in the Gulf states. What am I missing here? I know there was something else. Wildfires, hurricanes, earthquakes. There's been a few, including here early on, right when COVID hit, we got hit with a moderate earthquake here, but we're not used to it here in Utah. We're not prepared for it in the infrastructure, let's say. And so there was a lot of damage to the facility where I work, which caused me a lot of hard, even though I am I've been an essential employee this entire time. And that was going, it's just been a fucking crazy year. And then here recently, I have suffered some personal losses, a couple of dear friends of mine. One of my best friends since high school years, my friend Doug, he passed. Another co-worker of mine who was friends with me and my wife for years, Jane, we lost her. I mean, it has just been a shitty year. Let's just say that. I mean, I don't need to tell you guys that, but I mean, it has been particularly non-stop bullshit, to deal with. So anyway, that's one reason. And then another reason is from the gaming aspect. I have not been particularly inspired by anything in the gaming world. Now, part of that may be just my cynicism because of what I see going on within the gaming industry. And that's not something that is specific to the gaming industry. It has been pervasive throughout basically all media and entertainment, etc. And I'm not picking sides here. I'm not trying to take any moral high ground or anything like that. Where you have cancel culture, you have the woke mentality, you have all these different viewpoints that are going on. And in the past, going way back in the old days, before you had the internet and you had Twitter and you had Facebook and all that, a lot of that shit was just handled in social circles, and you discussed it, or what, you had arguments, whatever, disagreements, whatever, you dealt with it. But now, with the social media platforms that we all have access to, for good or bad, however you want to look at that, it has just gotten, in my opinion, it has gotten so out of control with everything going to the extremes. When people have a different viewpoint of something, cancel that asshole. Cancel. Go on there and cancel. Get on Twitter and just, and ruin their fucking lives, for the rest of their fucking life. They don't deserve to live. I mean, good God, why go to that extreme because somebody said something that you didn't particularly agree with, and then conversely, people that want to just go out of their way to be an asshole, just to troll people, and get their feathers up and all, and I mean, come on. So anyway, getting back to my original point of the second reason as to why I've just been reluctant to do videos is I've been uninspired because of that bullshit. Really, I mean, it's been in comics, it's been in movies, it's been in gaming, it's been in, and it's like, oh, come on, man, it's just so overbearing. And Google thinks that I want to talk to her. No, I didn't want to talk to you right now. I don't know what triggered. Stop listening to me, So, yeah, being uninspired. There hasn't been any projects that have really ticked any boxes for me that have said, hey, get excited about this. Now, I know that some of you right about now are thinking, well, what about Baldur's Gate 3? Let's get into that. But first, time for hydration. I'm going to pour some more without tilting the glass, just to piss somebody out there off. I'm just going to pour that son of a bitch. I'm just going to pour it. So, Baldur's Gate 3. I ordered it. I did the pre-order, got into the early access, and rolled up a character. I rolled, I think, a half-elf, male half-elf. And I'm trying to remember what I went with, like, stat-wise and all that. The game has not grabbed me. Now, perhaps it is me trying to get used to how uh, camera aspects are for the game. I think that's part of it, because I was struggling with the interface and the camera angles to just to feel comfortable with moving through the world and everything. And I'm still on the squid spaceship, the Mind Flayer spaceship. And that's another thing that I'm like, that didn't grab me, was the way that you're put into the world on this spaceship, and then you've got to try and fight your way off and all that. That did not necessarily grab me. I know that I got to get past that. I know I've got to get off the ship and at some point get to a town, and then perhaps maybe it'll kind of grab hold of me. It just hasn't done that yet. Now, the other thing is, so I started it, playing through it on the ship, doing the whole thing, and then of course, because we live in controversy era, for no apparent reason, Larian, the makers of the game, decided, let's just stir some shit up by getting on the players who put out their money to pre-order a game that's in early access, gave you their money while it's in early access, and the first fucking thing you do is attack them? Holy balls, man. Yeah, y'all are not making the characters that we want you to make. You're not making the character models the way we want you to make. We gave you horns, and we gave you tails, and we gave you... Who gives a shit, man? The whole point of what you're supposed to be making is that you're making a game for the player to get immersed in. And if they want to make what you called the generic vault dweller, that's the terms that they used, then by God, that's what that person's going to do, because that's the whole point of a role-playing game, specifically something that you've been known to make, is you want to customize it to what you want to play, not what the game developer wants you to play. And yes, I understand that they figure, well, we put all this work into it, and we want people to make these crazy looking fucking characters and all that stuff. And you know that there's people out there that are doing that. Just the fact that the ratio isn't where you want it, tough shit, man. Tough shit. Wait till it gets out of early access and let people get into it. Let it breathe a little bit and see where you land. Maybe then you'll start to see some unique builds that you didn't even, as the developer, didn't even think about that somebody would put together. You'll see that. But goddamn, don't just come out fucking, slugging your players who just bought a game in full price early access, and then you're gonna come out and smack them around. That's bullshit, man. Come on, you guys know better than that. And it's just about that whole trolling versus cancel culture. I mean, it's like, come on, man, quit trying to start a fucking fire where there isn't one. Anyway, so that's just one example. When I say that I haven't been inspired, that hasn't grabbed me. I know at a certain point, if I keep playing, I know there's going to be a point in that game that it will. I know there will. I know it's a quality product. I can tell it's going to be a quality product, and I know that there's going to be a point where it will grab me. I've had other games like that in my past where I've played them, and I've had to get to that point where I was like, I don't know, it's kind of not really, not my thing. Yeah, and then all of a sudden something and that's it. That's the turning point. I know that's coming with this game. So there'll be more to follow on that. I did, as of today was the first day you could buy Outer Worlds on Steam, and I went and bought it immediately because everything that I had read on it was that if you loved Fallout 4, which, as you guys know, is one of my favorite games of all time, that you would love the Outer Worlds. And it's made by Obsidian, and their name speaks for themselves. So I went ahead and got it, and it grabbed me instantly. So I actually had to break away from it to make this video. But it actually somewhat inspired me to make this video. So there's the first thing that has done that in a while. So I wanted to, I'm trying to think here. There's a couple other things I wanted to talk about besides, with the Outer Worlds, I don't know if they're trolling. Now, when it comes to this kind of trolling, this is trolling for humor effect, not necessarily to be an asshole. I don't know if they're trolling Bethesda, but I've only played like the first 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes of the game, and I've already encountered 3 NPCs named exactly like NPCs in Fallout 4. Hawthorne, it's like one of the first NPCs that are mentioned in the game, Hawthorne. That is an NPC directly from Fallout 4 in the Dugout Inn. He's one of the guys that you run into that gives you some information that sends you on quests and stuff like that. Cleo, which if you've played the game at all, you know that in Good Neighbor, that's who sells the best arms and armor. She's a robot in Fallout 4, but in Outer Worlds, oh wait, she's a fucking robot. Oh no, I take that back. Well, no, Cleo in Outer Worlds is a brand name of something that you run into, and Ada, who is a robot in Fallout 4, is also a robot on your ship in Outer Worlds. So you have Hawthorne, Cleo, and Ada. Those are direct. Now, one is a nothing. If you have one coincidental, that shit's going to happen. 2 names in the first, that's a coinky dink there. But 3 in the first 20 minutes of the game? I'm thinking somebody's trolling somebody. Just saying. Because a lot of the game, I mean, it already, just in the little bit that I've played so far, it feels a lot like Fallout 4. Completely different story, different artwork, different, but the mechanics, it feels pretty much, you start cryogenically frozen, just like in Fallout 4. So, yeah, I don't know what the trolling is. I don't know what the trolling level is, but there's that. I did want to, and I meant to, and I threw it away, I think. I was drinking another beer earlier, before this one, that I bought today, and it was bottles. Bought it in about 6-pack of bottles, and it's the second time that this shit has happened to me in the last couple of months. I get home, and it was a Kolsch, authentic German style Kolsch, and I don't remember the name of the brand name of whoever it was that made it or whatever. And they had me at authentic German style beer, so I get it and get it home, and I go to port, and I'm like, now of course again, because I'm 53 years old and I've been drinking beer for a long fucking time. In my hand, it felt a little light. And sure enough, I look at it, and it's 11.2 ounces. Not 12. Not a 12-ounce beer this is a 12-ounce beer. That other son of a bitch was 11.2. More expensive than this. It was $10. 6-pack. 11.2. You can't help but feel a little jip there, right? And I remembered that previously, like I said, it's happened in the last couple of months. It's happened a couple times. Still in that little fridge over there, I had the previous offender, Vorsteiner, which is another German beer. And I remembered that son of a bitch was 11.2. Those little bottles were 11.2 also. So my question to you guys is, how fucking long has this been going on? where they've been jipping us with starting to give us 11.2 bottles rather than 12 full fluid ounces for the same goddamn price. That's just, and again, I'm not a cheap guy. I spend money. I'm not afraid to spend money. You know, I'll spend a little extra to get the good stuff, whatever, you know. But there's something about that particular thing, because they only went down to 11.2, and it's almost like you could tell they were like, at what fucking point does the six-pack feel obviously lighter where the consumer's going to notice? You know, is it at 11.1 it gets just a little bit too light and they start going, what the hell's going on here? Oh wait, these aren't even full beers. And it's almost like they said, 11.2 seems to be just the cutoff before they, you know, that they don't quite notice, you know, that they're getting screwed. So if that's been happening, if there's other beers out there, if it's been happening in other places, I'd love to know about that bullshit. Because I'm just going to keep buying stuff in cans now. If that's the fact, there's plenty of good beers in cans now. I prefer stuff in the bottle, but I'll buy it in the cans to get my full 12 ounces in a beer, you know. Or I'll just drink Guinness, which comes in a pint. The way God intended beers to actually be in a, just like Merry or Pippin said in Lord of the Rings, you know, it comes in pints, you know, the way God intended. Yes. Anyway, so I did want to bring that up, that had been happening. Now, because we're at 21 minutes, which I can't believe it's already been 21 minutes, the last thing I wanted to talk about was, for you D&D people that follow me for the D&D content, I went ahead and bought this thing. This is the 5th edition Curse of Strahd Revamped in the coffin container. Now, part of the reason that I bought this is because Ravenloft has a soft spot in my heart, going way back to 2nd edition D&D. When Ravenloft first came out, it came out the very first, the Ravenloft module, that was all it was called, where the Baron was the main character as a vampire, the iconic on the balcony scene, you know, and the whole bit. And it was released right around Halloween time, and it was like the first true Halloween module for people to play specifically on Halloween night. You know, how badass is that for D&D, you know? So I've tried to pretty much, I have a lot of you can see it back there. I have a lot on the shelf back there. I have a lot of Ravenloft, the 2nd edition Ravenloft, almost all of the 2nd edition stuff. And so I got it for 5th edition, and now they've come out with this revamp thing. And that's part of this whole woke cancel culture, whatever, you know. What caused this is because somebody got offended by something in the original 5th edition Curse of Strahd. They got offended by something, I think, in the book, and they had to come out with this revamp thing. And they decided, well, rather than just re-release the book, we're going to do the whole coffin thing with box set and all that. And so I got it because I'm a collector, first of all. You guys know that. And I'm a collection. I've said this before. I'm a collector's edition moron, as I like to put it, because I will always buy the collector's edition of whatever it is that's available. So my question to you guys is, aside from all the controversy behind this and why it exists and all of that, the question I'm posing to you guys is, because I'm perfectly fine in leaving this in the shrink wrap from a collector's standpoint, and not ever opening, I don't give a shit. You know, I don't know the next time I'm going to play 5th edition. I probably will at some point down the road, but who knows? So my question to you guys is, I'm taking a little survey here. If you're still around, tell me in the comments. Would you guys rather me do an unboxing with this and show the contents? I mean, you can see that. I'm sure other people have done unboxings where, if you want my take, I will open it and we'll go through the contents and everything. Or do you think I'd be smarter just to leave it in shrink wrap? So, anyway, I think that's everything, guys. We're at a 25-minute video, which is super long. cheers. My beer has apparently settled to what some of these people that watch my channel would consider an acceptable foam level. Anyway, and I do know that the last video I did, I said my next video was going to be a recap of our Roll20 game that we're doing, our first edition Roll20 game that we've been doing. But we've really been sporadic because of people not being able to make it. And again, 2020, shit hasn't been, there hasn't been any, nothing's been stable in 2020. So just like that with our group, it hasn't been stable. So I will try to do that for the next video. I'm going to push it to the next video to try and give you guys a decent update on what's happening, provided that, you know, I think we're supposed to play tonight. We'll see if that goes through. And we'll go from there. So that's it, guys. You're all caught up. I think I'm just going to do it from now on, at least for further notice. I'm just going to do these. I had no list, no script, no, I don't give a shit. I'm just going to sit down and talk to you guys, and we'll just do it that way until things kind of stable out, and then we can maybe do a schedule or whatever. So until next time, guys, we'll catch you on the flip side.